Hi everyone, it's Amy here, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and today we have a very exciting video for you. I am really looking forward to filming this one because I've been thinking about it for a while and I've been collecting books ready to be able to film this video. So what are we doing? We are going to be doing a try a chapter tag, and I've never done one of these before, so I'm so excited. And in this particular edition, we are going to be trying popular fantasy books. If you've never seen one of these before, basically I choose a selection of books, I will then read the first chapter of each of those books and just give you my feelings on it, and then I may choose to then go on and read one of the books fully. So let's have a look at the books that I have picked. The first one is actually one that I have already read, but I read it 6 years ago and I have absolutely no memory of what happened in the book, and I do kind of want to go and continue with the series, and so we're gonna give this one another shot, and it is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Like I said, I did read this in 2015. I can't remember anything about it, and also what I'm going to do in this video is not actually even read anything on the backs of any of these books, so I literally go in barely knowing anything at all. So we will quite literally experience it all together as we go along. The second book we will be reading is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I've seen so many people raving about this one recently, so I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. The third book I have here is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Again, I mean, this is why it's popular fantasy, because all of the books here I've got to show you are ones that I keep hearing all about, and so I decided to pick this one up. This one was also a winner of a Hugo Award, so definitely keen to see what this one's about. The fourth book I have here is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This one is everywhere at the moment. I don't know when it was published, but it just seems to be really doing the rounds on BookTube and Bookstagram, so can't wait to see what this one's like. And then the final one we've got here is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So this one I believe is a little bit more of maybe like a paranormal fantasy. This is, I do believe it's got like witches and vampires, so I can't wait to see how it compares to the other ones. So how are we going to choose which one to read first? To make it fair, I've put them all in a little pot on paper, and so we're literally gonna pull the first one out, and that's gonna be the first one we read. So what have we got here? Oh, I feel so excited about this, even though I know which books are gonna be on it. You know, it's not a complete surprise, I guess. Okay, the first one we're going to read is The Final Empire. How funny that that was the first one I spoke about. So I'll go and read the first chapter of this one and I will let you know what I think once I've read it. I'll be interested to see if I actually recall any of it when I start reading, so catch up with you later. So I finished the first chapter and a rather lengthy prologue, which I think took me to about 30 pages of this book, and I have absolutely no recollection of the story at all, which it makes me question whether I have actually read it before. I need to go and check my Goodreads, but I'm 99% sure that I have read it. Just goes to show how good my memory is. So anyway, the prologue, we basically are introduced to this world that has, like, the sun is all covered in red and everything's a bit kind of dusty, and there's ash coming from these ash mountains or like volcano type things, and we meet a character named Kelsier. There was mention of a Dark Lord, although I'm not really sure what like is going on there with him yet. There was these people called the Scar, who I believe are kind of like slave people. So the man named Kelsier in the prologue basically shook a load of things up and caused a bit of havoc. Then the first chapter came along and we met who I believe is going to be our main character now throughout, a woman named Vin. Vin appears to be in some kind of gang that run like heists on noblemen to try and get money from them, and that's basically what happened in the very first chapter, that she has some kind of power. I'm not sure what the power is, but she said that she was kind of like pushing luck on people, and so I don't know if it's something in her that is like doing something magically to other people, but she basically was being used as part of this gang so that they could get deals better, because she was able to convince people that they were working on, like the people that they were hustling, and do something to them so that they then felt more inclined to do whatever they wanted them to do. I actually really enjoyed it. I kind of felt a little bit intimidated before picking it up. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it, but the actual reading, it's like a really readable book. So actually looking forward to reading more of this one. So what are we going to read next? I'll get my little pot back out. So let's go for that one. And it is the 5th season. So I may not read all of these in one day because I feel like that'll be a lot of fantasy for my brain to hold on to. So if in the next clip I'm suddenly in completely different clothing, that is why. I will probably film this over a few days. So I will catch up with you once I've read this one. I'm back and I've read the first prologue and the first chapter of the 5th season. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I read half of the prologue and I fell asleep. And I don't think that's a reflection on the book. I think we'd just gone on a big walk yesterday and I was tired. So once I did wake up, I did read it and enjoy it. However, I would say I probably enjoyed the final Empire a little bit more. There's definitely a lot more effort into trying to understand what was actually going on in the 5th season. I found the world building and the general basis of characters and magic system and that kind of thing in the final Empire to be easier to follow and a lot more kind of standard, I guess, for fantasy, whereas in this one like stuff was happening and I think potentially it feels a little bit sci-fi. I don't know if that's right, but it did feel a little bit like there might be otherworldly type things going on. Definitely was enjoying it a lot more once we got actually into the first chapter and I was kind of getting into the rhythm of it a bit more. I would say the actual flow of the writing I wasn't enjoying as much as the final Empire. I was definitely having to make a lot of effort with this one. However, I have seen on a video of mine recently somebody commented to say that actually they felt like the first 100 pages they had to make a lot of effort on this one, but once they got through that they really enjoyed it and thought it was brilliant. And so I'm kind of thinking it's like a similar thing to like the Bone season in the fact that that one took me a long time to get my head around what on earth was actually going on and the characters and the place names and all the random magic systems, but once you get that down then maybe it's a really enjoyable book. So I'm thinking potentially this one will be really good, but I will need to push on with it. So we've only got 3 left in here now. Which one will be next? Let's do this one, which is The Poppy War. The Poppy War is actually one of the ones that I've been most looking forward to reading on my TBR, so I cannot wait to start this one. I will let you know once I've read the first chapter. So I'm back. I finished reading the first chapter of The Poppy War and really enjoyed it. It was much more readable than I expected it to be. I think after reading the 5th season, I kind of got it in my head that these books were going to be really difficult to get through, but actually this one was so much more readable. Like everything made so much more sense. I feel like the world building, the characters, just the general setting of everything made so much more sense compared to the 5th season. So far in this one we've met a character named Rin, who's a young war-orphaned child who was basically taken in by a family because the kind of government, I guess, or the ruling entity where she lived basically told everyone that they had to take in the war orphan children so that they didn't become thieves and beggars. And so she is an orphan child. She's been taken in by this family who don't particularly treat her very well. They have basically decided they're going to set her up with a rich elderly man so that she can be married to him and they can use his wealth to kind of benefit them, and they just don't seem like very nice people, to be honest. She takes it upon herself to get tutored to a point where she can take this kind of examination called the Keiju. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So if she manages to pass this examination, which covers like a whole host of lots of different things, mathematics, classics, all this different stuff, and if she manages to pass it, then she might be in with a chance of joining the kind of military school, which will mean that she doesn't need to pay to do that either. It's exciting so far. I really like Rin, the main character. I think she's quite resourceful and strong-minded. Like she just knows herself and is very determined. Yeah, really cool characters. I'm looking forward to reading more of this one. Actually, this might be the one that I continue reading, so we will see once I've read the other 2 books. So let's see what book I'll be reading next. We've only got 2 left in here now, so we'll just pick that one, and we are going to be reading A Discovery of Witches. So I will go and read a chapter of this one, and then obviously by process of elimination the only book I have left to read is Jade City after that one. So I can't wait. I will catch up with you later. So I'm back. I finished reading the first chapter of the final 2 books, so I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So A Discovery of Witches Very different to all of the other books that we've read so far, very much down the paranormal route. Our main character is a lady named Diana who is a witch. However, she is kind of shunning her witchy heritage, doesn't really want anything to do with it, is like sensing magical things but is like trying to push that aside as much as possible. She is some kind of academic and deals with manuscripts and things like this, and so in the first chapter she comes across this manuscript which appears to have a lot of magic held within it, and she is trying to stay away from it, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. She's going to end up going down a much more magical route and kind of face her fears in terms of her heritage and accepting that side of herself. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. Wouldn't say it's top of the list in terms of intrigue for me. I think there are definitely others that have piqued my interest a little bit more than this one. However, I do know it is one that I will push on with, and I feel I would come to love if I got to know the characters a little bit more. So let's see what I thought of Jade City. So really enjoyed this one, and actually out of all of them this was the shortest chapter. Didn't get a prologue, we literally just had a 9-page first chapter, and in that 9 pages everything was summed up really, really well. I understood what was going on very quickly. The world, the magic system, everything just seemed to be laid out very simply, and I appreciate that in a fantasy book. So in the world of Jade City, jade itself, the stone, is a very valuable commodity. It enhances someone's abilities, it like makes them stronger and faster and all of that kind of stuff. So it's something that marks the people who have either a lot of money or are very high up in kind of gangs who are able to walk around with jade on themselves without kind of fear of someone trying to steal it from them. In the first chapter we met 2 characters who were basically on a mission to steal some jade from a drunk man who was in the restaurant where they were working. So yeah, really, really intrigued by this one. It was a really good opening chapter. If I were to rank these in order of which I would go into reading them as of right now from what I've read so far, I think I would choose The Poppy War first, because this one was absolutely the most intriguing to me. I think I would then go for Jade City, because that one as well was really, really good. I think I would then jump onto The Final Empire. This one was really readable. Like The Poppy War and Jade City, everything just made sense really quickly, and I felt like I was like invested in the story and I understood what was going on very quickly. My 4th choice would be the 5th season. I think this one, although it was a little bit hard to understand what was going on at the beginning, once I read that first chapter after the prologue, I was getting a little bit more into it, and I do think it's one that I would become quite invested in. So I think that would be that one. And then the final one I think would be A Discovery of Witches. So I think this is down the line. I will probably pick this one up once I've got through all of the other ones. So I think this video is long enough. I'm not going to go ahead and read one of these books to review for you here. However, I think it's highly likely that I'll be picking up The Poppy War this month, so definitely look out for that one in either a weekly reading vlog or in my monthly wrap up at the end of the month. I'd love to hear down below if you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know down below if there are any other genres or types of videos like this that you would like to see me do. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? Come and have a chat with me down below. As always, I will leave links to everything I've mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!